I somehow made it this far in life without ever reading a single Harry Potter book, so I'm going to be reading the whole entire series in this video. Let's go. Yeah, you saw that intro right. I am going to be reading the whole entire Harry Potter series. So I bought this book set a little while and I got it on a good budget. So I'm really excited to finally read this series because I've watched the movies. I just haven't read the books, and there is so much information in this universe that I would just love to learn about because I know that they don't include everything in the movies. So I'm literally so thrilled. Let's not wait any longer. Let's just get to it. Alright, so I'm on chapter 8, The Potions Master. And oh my gosh, this story is so just wholesome and just so cozy. I really wish that I could read this in the fall time because I think this series is very much associated with the fall time. It is just the most perfect book to read in the fall time. We can just pretend that it's fall. We can just pretend even though it's like 80 degrees outside. But I love Harry and I love Ron. I think we're not getting much of Harry's character, and I think part of that, firstly because I know that Harry is more sassy in the books than in the movies, but I think part of why Harry is like a little bit more kind of a quieter main character in this book is because he's like obviously been living with the Dursleys. So I think that's why he's kind of a quieter main character in this first book. He just doesn't really get the chance to be himself when he's around the Dursleys or even at school. It was definitely really sad to see how the Dursleys treat Harry. Like, for instance, Harry wasn't even supposed to go to the zoo at the beginning of the book. He just like didn't have anyone else to look after him, so they had no choice but to bring him to the zoo with their son. Forgot his name. They really don't care for him whatsoever. They literally gave him a coat hanger and like socks for his birthday. A coat hanger. And when I read that, I literally gasped because I know that they treat him horribly, but I honestly thought that they didn't even give him birthday presents. But I don't even know which is worse, not receiving a birthday present or receiving a coat hanger as a present. Which is worse, honestly, because I feel like you could have just given him nothing and that would have been just as bad. The son, I literally can't remember his name. Doodley, something like that. The way he just tosses him around like he's a ball. But now that they know that Harry's a wizard, they're still treating him poorly, but they're not doing as much as they did before because they know where they stand and they know that they can't do anything too harmful to him or they'll probably get really in trouble. So I really don't think you can go wrong with this book. It's like the introduction to this whole world and everything. There's not much to complain about. There's actually really nothing to complain about because I love it already. It's just so cozy and I really wish it was the fall time, but it's not, so we can just pretend. Oh my gosh, and in the scene where Harry like bought all the candy on the train and he was sharing it with Ron and the book was like Harry never had someone to share his things with, that just warmed my heart because Ron is Harry's first friend. We are witnessing history right here. You can't help but feel really happy for Harry because the book did a really well job with building up his life before Hogwarts and like showing us how horrible it is. So you get a really good build up of Harry's life before he goes to Hogwarts. And it's like when we do transition into his magical life, it's so heartwarming because everyone is treating him super kindly and he's also like super famous. It's just such a nice change from him being like tormented and bullied by his own family. Well, at least by most people, because we still have Draco, we still have, I guess, Snape. Okay, something that Snape says that kind of boils my blood is when he asked Harry about a certain potion question and Harry doesn't know the answer, obviously, and Snape is like, fame clearly isn't everything. And I'm just like, this is his first year as an actual wizard, so how do you expect him to know things like this? Ugh, make it make sense, Snape. He's in your class to learn about potions. I really don't know what he was expecting from Harry when he asked that question. I'm assuming you know that he just found out he was a wizard and it's like also his first year as a wizard. So he also didn't ask to be famous. Like, he didn't ask for his parents to die. He didn't ask to be famous. He's already been through enough. Okay, we don't need any more bullies at the school, especially not the teacher. Neville's always the one to cause a scene. Always the one to blow up the potions, the one to get on a broomstick and have it fly out. Always the one to like get attacked by a mythical creature or something. This poor boy, he can't win. It's always him. I don't know why he's always the one to like be targeted in these types of situations. No, because Neville is me. I love Neville because I can relate to him. He's literally me. Literally, why is something always happening to Neville? He's never beating the allegations. Always in a situation or an accident. This poor boy. It's just quite funny, honestly. When they say Potter, they're like Potter. They really use that P. Like, imagine saying that in an American accent. Potter. I just think saying Potter. Really throwing that P around. That is just so much funnier than like Potter. Do you know what I mean? Or Malfoy. When Harry is like, Malfoy. Malfoy. That's also such a funny last name. Malfoy. I have finally finished Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, and I was kind of conflicted with my rating of this book because I kept switching between 3.8 stars and a 4 stars. So I just decided to settle with a 4 stars because this book is just a very good introduction to this whole world, to the characters, to the villains. Voldemort is definitely one of the best villains, if I do say so myself. And yeah, just like the system of the magical world. The ending when like Neville won the points for Gryffindor's house, Slytherin and Gryffindor were tied, and then Neville goes and wins more points for the Gryffindor house, and then everyone was like so excited and just cheering for him, and I thought that was so wholesome. I'm really happy that he got his little moment of glory. But yeah, other than that, the Dursleys were really brutal. The fact that Harry gets punished by not having meals, but like seeing that and then going into Hogwarts, Harry meeting his friends makes it just so much more special because we've seen his life before, and it's just like being the opposite experience of his home life makes it so much more special. So I really love that we got that build up of his life before. This school, you can tell that the teachers and like Dumbledore, who is headmaster of the school, they really love being there. They love doing what they do, at least for most teachers. But like there's just so much love at this school, as well as danger, but like there's so much love around. It just feels very magical. I wish I could go here so bad. But yeah, now it's time to move on to the second book, Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. Let's just get into Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. Ooh, what could be the secrets? Okay, so I am on page 191. So I'm almost at the 200 mark of Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. And something that's surprising me is I'm actually really enjoying this book so far. I didn't expect to like hate it or anything like that, but I'm just really enjoying it. And the reason that surprises me is because I never really loved, I don't want to say that because I actually love all the movies, but Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets was always like my least favorite, or it was just always at the low ranking. One thing I always thought about this is I always thought like it was slow, but now that I'm looking at it, it's really not. There's event after event happening, and the stakes are definitely higher, I feel like, than in the first one, I would say, because the danger and like the whole thing with Voldemort kind of blew up at the end of the book. And with this one, there was kind of like an expectation for danger from the beginning of the book, because Dobby comes and warns Harry about a danger waiting for him at school and that he shouldn't go and all of that stuff. So I think the stakes are definitely a little bit higher, and there's like, it does feel slightly darker. There's still that very light and nostalgic feeling, but I will say it is just a little bit darker than the last book. But yeah, basically in this book, Harry Potter is going to his second year of Hogwarts. And then Dobby, this house elf, comes and warns Harry that there's, like I said, a danger awaiting him at school. And Dobby's like, don't go to school this year and all this stuff. But of course, Harry's gonna want to go back. I mean, I honestly rather face the danger that's whatever is happening at Hogwarts than stay at home with the Dursleys. I'm just saying, he also did face Voldemort in the last book, so what could be worse? I did forget to mention, Harry gets picked up by Ron and the twins in this like flying car because Mr. Dursley does not want Harry going back to Hogwarts. So they come and rescue him basically, and it's just a very fun scene, and I love the twins so much. I think the twins might actually be my favorite characters. Ron was always my favorite character. I think Ron and the twins are honestly at the same level for me. I just really love the Weasleys, okay? And then when they all get to Hogwarts Express, Harry and Ron aren't able to go through the portal, so they have to take their flying car, which they are not allowed to drive, especially in the Muggle world, because they will be seen. I absolutely loved that scene. It was just hilarious because Ron and Harry are still at this like clueless stage in life, so seeing them try to navigate the car, them getting captured by the tree, was just like the highlight of this book. The amount of times they get in trouble, Harry, Hermione, and Ron, they're just like putting themselves in these situations where literally no one's asking them to do. I just love how they're always trying to solve a mystery and then they always like get caught and in trouble for something. It's just hilarious. I love this book, and I love being back at Hogwarts as well. Alright, so I'm on chapter 200 or page 200. Some of these students are really annoying me because they were like doing a lesson, there was a snake and the snake was gonna hurt a student, and then Harry was like, back off to the snake, and the students thought that Harry was leading the snake on to the student because obviously they don't know what he's saying because he's like speaking a different language, whatever. And these students are blaming Harry and suspecting him to be some like dark wizard or related to a Slytherin, and now they're bringing up his own life, like, oh, you hate muggles because you hate the Dursleys. What the heck do you know about the Dursleys? These kids are annoying me. No, because I can't even, because Harry is always at the wrong place at the wrong time. He just so happens to be at the scene of the crime. Oh my gosh, that rhymed. I literally did not mean to rhyme, but it's just, it isn't doing him any favors, especially with all of these assumptions with him being like the culprit. It is real hot out here. It's real hot out here. So I'm back. There was definitely a big gap in time compared to like the last clip that you saw me. And yes, I did finish The Prisoner of Azkaban. I am currently on The Goblet of Fire, and I'll get to that in a bit, but I first want to touch on Prisoner of Azkaban. And so my rating for Prisoner of Azkaban is a 4 stars. It still stands as my favorite Harry Potter movie, but favorite Harry Potter book, we'll just have to see. I really love this book because it's a really good combination of the darker tones of Harry Potter, but still has that nostalgic Harry Potter feeling, and everything is still super giddy and fun, but like it's getting a little bit more high stakes and a little bit spookier and just feels a little bit darker. And the climax of the story is just so much. Like, reading this, you think that the climax is just like one thing, but then it's one thing after the other. I think that's like a thing with the Harry Potter series. It all just blows up at the end. You find out about something at the beginning of the story, and it kind of just lingers throughout the story until it finally blows up at the end. Like Hermione time traveling, and you find out that she's been time traveling this whole time to get to her classes, and then Hermione and Harry has to time travel back in time, and then Harry finds out that he's the one who actually saved his own life, because of course the scene where Harry and Sirius Black are like literally dying because the mentors are sucking the life out of them. Harry sees like the Patronus thing and he thinks it's his dad, when in reality it's actually him, but in the future. And then we find out that Sirius Black is actually a good guy and he's literally Harry's godfather. Ron's rat is actually Voldemort's helper and servant. And then Professor Lupin is actually a werewolf. It's just like so much. It just blows up in your face. I will say that I didn't really love the absence of Hermione throughout the whole book. I know that it was like for a reason, because obviously she's time traveling, and the whole entire book you're kind of just like, what's up with Hermione? Why is she so stressed out? Like, of course it's her classes, but she's more stressed out than usual. But I just don't love how she wasn't fully present. Also, I love the scene at the beginning of the book where Harry literally turns his aunt into a literal balloon and then she just floats away. I love that. I love that he did that. I mean, he definitely got in trouble for it, and somehow he got out of trouble, because of course he did. He's Harry. And now on to Goblet of Fire. I'm in the middle of it. I'm actually on chapter 20, and I'm really enjoying the story so far. I think I'm actually enjoying it more than Prisoner of Azkaban, which is surprising, but Goblet of Fire is my second favorite movie. When I first started watching the Harry Potter movies, I was like, Goblet of Fire or Prisoner of Azkaban? But Prisoner of Azkaban will always be out there. There's no dethroning. Okay, but Goblet of Fire is just a very close second. Okay, so there's a lot to unpack right now. Basically, it's Harry's 4th year at Hogwarts. Harry and the Weasleys, they go to the Quidditch World Cup, which is actually ironic because the World Cup is about to happen. There couldn't be a more perfect time to read this book. But that whole scene is really fun because we see some new characters, like Victor Crumb is a new character in the story, and he's a world famous Quidditch player, and it's just like really fun to see because it just feels more real, I guess. Instead of it being just a game in Hogwarts, it feels like it's an actual thing in the whole wizarding world. And then there's also I forgot what the game is called, but the game at Hogwarts, and then 2 other schools joining in. I think that's really cool. Instead of it being just a game at Hogwarts, like they invite 2 other schools to join and play with them. It's super fun so far. I love like a trials type of thing in books. I've heard that the games are not made as a huge thing in the book compared to the movie, but so far all they're really talking about are the games. So I wonder why that is. There are a few things that are really pissing me off, and not necessarily like the writing or anything, but there are just some characters that are making my blood boil right now. Ron, count your days. So of course Harry being picked by the Goblet of Fire struck everyone by surprise and like pisses a lot of people off because the Goblet of Fire obviously has an age restriction, so anyone under 17 can't enter. And at this stage, Harry is like 14, and Harry's just trying his best to like prove people wrong, like he didn't put his name in the goblet. People just don't want to hear him out. What's really upsetting me is that Ron just doesn't care. I'm just really pissed off at Ron because he sees everyone else bullying Harry and he's not doing anything about it. He's actually like encouraging it and not being there for his best friend, and the only person that's there for him is Hermione. Like, that is just the worst situation to be in, and that's why I'm so upset about this, because like genuinely one of my worst nightmares is to be telling the truth but no one believes you and no one wanting to hear you out. That is a nightmare. I'm at the point where we're right before the game, so like we're preparing for the games, we've done the interviews. Harry is just finding out about the first task for the game, which is like the dragons, and I'm so excited to read about that because I love dragons. Let's just get into it because I've talked a lot and I don't need to talk anymore. What? Also, there was a scene in this book. I wasn't filming, so I couldn't get a reaction, but there was a scene in this book where Harry and Draco were fighting, and then they try to cast spells on each other, but then Harry's spell went to Draco's friend, and then Draco's spell went to Hermione. Basically, Hermione's teeth grew large, and then Snape asked Hermione to lift her hand from her face, and then he was like, I see no difference. Why is he even a teacher, honestly? I'm at the Yule Ball scene where Hermione's gonna walk down the stairs and Ron's gonna find out that she went with Victor Crumb instead of him. No, because I know Hermione didn't even want to go with Victor, right? She was hoping that Ron was gonna ask her. But Ron, too late, man. I love this scene. I also just like love the wintry vibes of the snowball. I think Ron might be a little bit mad. I think he's a little bit mad. I think he's mad she just didn't tell him. What is this reporter on? The way she's just taking the tiniest bit of information and then like twisting it into this whole issue, like this whole thing. Oh, I hate reporters like that. Smitten is crazy. This reporter is crazy. Rita Skeeta. Why is that her name? Rita Skeeta. No, I'm sorry. It's the way that Snape just doesn't hesitate when insulting the students. Like, he does not care. And I love how he's like insulting people left and right, like Hermione and Harry, when he himself is not. Sorry to burst your bubble, but you ain't. You ain't all of that, alright. I just finished Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. Oh my gosh, this was obviously a 5-star read for me, if you can't already tell from my reaction. The Tri-Wizard tournament was so much fun, and I love the preparation for the games and like the whole mystery of who put Harry's name in the Goblet of Fire, and then when we finally find out, it's like double plot twist. These books just have the best plot twists. I'm always looking forward to it, even though like I've already seen the plot twist, although I forgot about so many things in this book. And then Voldemort coming back in full form was so good too. The duel between Harry and Voldemort, it was just so funny because Voldemort is supposed to be this really huge villain, but he can't even beat a 14-year-old boy. But I love this book. It was just so good. So it's finally time to move on to Order of Phoenix. There. I have an update. I'm on chapter 20. I want to talk about one character that is really annoying, and I think you guys can probably guess who it is. Professor Umbridge. She's delusional. I might actually hate her more than Voldemort. I don't even hate Voldemort, if I'm gonna be honest. I think his character is pretty cool. Hey, I don't know if that's controversial. I think he's a great villain, but her, she's just annoying. She is just annoying. And also we got introduced to Luna in this book, and I'm so happy because I forgot which book she was introduced in, and she finally showed up in this one, and I'm so happy because I love Luna. I'm learning so much lore right now, especially Voldemort. I love whenever we learn about Voldemort's past and then learning about the whole Horcruxes thing. Like, it is just so good and so insanely detailed. This one is definitely up there. I think I really like the darker books of Harry Potter because it feels like it's just more intense, and you start getting so many more answers. But anyways, I'm going to finish this book tonight. I started this yesterday and I've just been reading the whole entire. Now today I had to go to work with my mom, so I was audiobooking, but like I've basically just been reading the whole entire day yesterday and today. No! Oh no. No, bruh, I'm not ready. I'm not ready. No, because why can't Harry, why can't he never catch a break? Why does literally everyone that comes into his life die? My brain can't comprehend what Harry must be going through. I'm so over it. I'm so over it. Okay, now I'm laughing. I'm sorry. I know this is such a serious moment right now. Harry's trying to fight Snape right now. He just like keeps cutting off his spells. It's so funny. Okay, it's time to be serious. Get it? Serious. It's time to be serious. No, okay. I didn't think so. I am not okay. If you thought that things couldn't get worse, we find out that the Horcrux that Dumbledore quite literally almost died searching for is not even a real Horcrux. The Horcrux wasn't even real and it was all for nothing? Is that what you're telling me right now? No. I don't even know what to say anymore. Yeah, I don't. Sorry, things are trying to escape me. So as you guys saw, I finished Half-Blood Prince, but I also kind of didn't give you guys an update on Order of the Phoenix. I just went straight to Half-Blood Prince. So I kind of want to talk about this one first, and then we can talk about Order of the Phoenix was a 5 stars. The thing is, I took so long to get through this. I started this in like mid-June and finished it. I don't know if you can hear the birds, but the birds are going crazy. But anyways, I started this in like mid-June, finished at the beginning of July. This story is just 10 out of 10, 5 stars, 6 stars. And I'm saying right now that this genuinely like is at the top of the list for me. It's right up there with my rankings. It was very informational. We got to see so much of Harry and Sirius together, which we didn't get in the movies, I feel like. We only saw them a few times, but in the books there were so many scenes where they were together, whether that was they were like having a conversation about something really important or just, you know, having a family gathering at like Christmas or something, which was such a wholesome scene. And then the whole thing with Dolores Umbridge, I despise her, but I loved the addition of her character. And then Luna Lovegood being introduced, which yes. Now on to Half-Blood Prince, which I finished last night. Such an emotional roller coaster. But this book was especially so interesting because we get a lot more scenes with Dumbledore and Harry, and then they're like going on side quests, finding out about Voldemort's past, which I love learning about. Yeah, now it's time for the next and the final book. Also, this was a 5 stars. I don't think I mentioned, but this was a 5 star. We're just getting 5 stars back to back. Yeah. Final round. Let's go. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. Pray for me. Let's go on an exhilarating, fantastical, fun adventure. Yay! And then I love how like the world is ending basically, and then there's just a wedding happening. Like I believe we start off the story with like a wedding, or like Harry's point of view, I guess. You know, Dumbledore dead, Hogwarts falling apart, everyone's lives in danger. The show must go on. That's the spirit right there. That doesn't mean that life has to end. So. can't believe it's over. I can't believe it's over. What do you mean I just finished the series? What do you even mean that was such an emotional roller coaster. I can't even put it into words right now. So much chaos happened, but like that was such a good ending. Like just not doing too much, but I feel like doing the perfect amount, if that makes any sense. Seeing the epilogue and like seeing everyone's children and like the way that Harry named his children after people who were so special from beginning to end, it was just 10 out of 10. 5 stars. 5 stars. I feel like after Prisoner of Azkaban, every following book was a 5 stars for me, and this was just like such a chaotic time. Like so many people were dying left and right, which was so sad. That was so good. And I can't believe I'm over. Alright guys, this was the most fun I've ever had. Yeah, I literally have to go watch the movies like right after this because I can't. That was the whole entire series. All 7 of the books, read, devoured. I can't even imagine like growing up with this series because I got to read this all at once. Like growing up with the series and having to wait for the books to come out and like then finishing the last one. Like whoever did that, y'all had it good. Like I wish I could have experienced it that way, but it's okay. At least I got to experience it. But yeah, I hope you guys really enjoyed this video, and if you aren't already subscribed, maybe you should. So yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.